how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for. I watch people get stuck in Frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. World Live, Vivian, rocking it. We got some awesome people. Vivian, who are they?
Oh my goodness, we have Robin Ram from New York City, baby, in the house. Give me some energy, Robin. Show me your hand. Yeah. Investor at Ram Realty with a focus on various properties from residential housing brought in Brooklyn at property auction or from owners in free foreclosure to HUD, rehabbed, and resold to first-time home buyers. He's also the founder of Kismet Capital, founded by real estate entrepreneurs with a focus on facilitating acquisitions to affordable housing for all. And he's the founder of Cash Flow Capital, a real estate advisory that specializes in equity and debt placement. So, Robin, Ram, welcome.
Thanks.
Robin, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What brings you to these parts today, Robin?
I got invited, so.
Yeah. Well, something had to cause you to say yes. What caused you to say yes?
I don't know how to say no.
Do you think you should have said no?
No, I wanted to check it out. You know, a good friend of mine, Ken, invited me to the initial one, and I got some value from the last call. Yeah. You know, building rapport on cold calls. So I wanted to see what this second call was about.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, and Robin, you are from New York, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
All right, and that's Ken Van Loo. Is that who I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool, man. And how about a fun fact?
I started growing mushrooms. That's a fun fact. Mycology.
Right, like mushrooms on like your pizza or mushrooms on like your plant medicine journey?
Plant medicine journey.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. I needed that, Sean. I needed to know.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Real Raw After Dark again.
Yes, Lorelei Unblinded After Dark is alive and well. Robin's loosened up a little bit. Vivian, who else we got?
Oh my God. We have in from the Bronx, whoop, whoop, Jerome Lamar.
New York versus New York action. Like, that's the first time ever that's happened. But please, Vivian, yeah.
It's so true. He has behind him beautiful design graphics that you can't see, Sean, on his speakers, which are completely part of everything that makes him extraordinary, or the style monk from the Bronx. Jerome is an FIT grad, is a creative director, designer, stylist, and futurist with a superpower in forecasting style trends. He started off as a designer at the age of 15, working with Sean, Baby Fat by Kimora Lee Simmons, and then he created 531, a brand admired by Hollywood elites from Beyonce to Hailey Baldwin, Bieber, and Rihanna. And then he opened up 9J, a luxury pop-up boutique to help shift the Bronx image, showcasing art, music, design, and landed him on the cover of the New York Times, of which it led to many collaborations with the New York Times, Vogue and GQ, Warner Brothers, Disney, Google, Amazon, Netflix, Nike, and Beyonce cherry-picked him last year as a key designer for her Black is King film with Disney Plus. But what he's most proud of is the fact that he is the youngest trustee on the board for the Bronx Museum of Art and lead creative director, and his mission is to serve as a guide in his community to create opportunities for future generations to come. So welcome, baby.
Jerome, what's up, sir? How are you doing today?
I am great. First of all, Vivian, you are amazing. You have the best energy ever. Good to see you again, Sean. How are you?
Amazing. Did we not meet at the Capitol Grill in New Jersey?
Yes, we did. And it was an amazing dinner. It was so great.
To the one and only Shannon O'Donnell, I think. Is that
Shannon?
Amazing. So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And how about a fun fact besides all of your other amazingness?
Okay. Fun fact. Fun fact. I studied quantum physics when I was a student in high school.
What?
And got into Brown University, but didn't go there. Went to FIT instead. Boop.
Amazing. And another intersection is I went to Columbia, played baseball there. We played Brown every year. And we also hung out with people at FIT a whole bunch, both being from the city. So thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Vivian, we got some New York action, but we got some judges.
Yes, we do. In from Cherry Hill, right to outside of Philly, we have Michael Duffy in the house. Some energy, baby.
Michael is in the house.
Michael Duffy got his juris from Rutgers School of Law with a concentration in international and business law. Went from owning and operating a multi-million-dollar international distribution company for over 5 years, serving tens of thousands of customers in over 100 countries in 5 continents, to becoming the corporate trainer at UNESCO Vietnam and becoming a bigger part in the international business community, to doing what was left. Found his own company, MITS Law. Here, Michael practices all types of litigation, from personal to business, bankruptcy, electronic commerce, and trademark law. So welcome, Michael Duffy.
Michael, welcome, sir. How are you doing?
You are on mute. Unmute. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, the space button wasn't working for me there. I said, thank you very much. I just have to mention, not my company. I do, I work for someone else, but a big part of the company, certainly. And yeah, thank you.
Michael, how about a fun fact?
Fun fact, I met my wife in Vietnam, and I moved there, worked there for 2 years, and convinced her to marry me when I lived there. And we came back to the US together, and that was 12 years ago now.
That is extraordinary. And so, Michael, what type of litigation matters? Like, what's your sort of sweet spot and what you're up to in the world? Like, what problem are you solving for people?
Yep, commercial litigation. So it's a pretty wide gamut. Could be contract disputes, trademark, franchise law, partnership disagreements, and a variety of stuff in between.
Awesome. Any fun stories that you would have related to litigation matters without naming names?
I don't know about fun. I've certainly had some interesting cases and some characters in there, but I probably have to give it more thought before I could pick out one that I would say is fun.
So can I share a quick fun fact related to litigation?
Please.
Yeah. So we had a client in Arizona that came to work on a Monday morning after he had been physically attacked, choked, and thrown across a room by his partner. It was a $50 million company. And he walked in on Monday morning, Michael and everybody, and guess what?
What is there to get?
Everything was gone. The computers, the people, everything was gone on Monday morning. And that led to a 6-year odyssey of my life, about 100 trips to the great state of Arizona, told we could never win the case. It was utterly impossible. This was like good versus evil. And we ended up, as a fun footnote, hitting them for not only $11 million in compensatory damages, but $16 million in punitive damages. And Michael, you know this, in a contract shareholder dispute case, brother, it is not often that you're getting 8 figures in punitives. Would you agree?
I would agree that it's rare to get punitives at all in those types of cases. So yeah. 8 figures is in another world.
Yeah. So we had my fun fact is I'm blind. And I had back-to-back top 100 national jury verdicts. In both cases were breach of fiduciary duty shareholder cases. And in both cases, we got 8-figure punitive damage awards.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of fun.
We need a highlight reel, Sean, of some of your fabulous telenovela.
No, but listen, it's not even about me. It's about a formula and a science. Right. So thank you, Vivian. That's very kind of you. And so I share that because that's what we unpack here is the ability to create influence, because I had no concept of how to do anything like that in my life. And I learned from some of the most brilliant people on the planet how to create those types of dynamics for good. And there was a lot of craziness that went on. So Michael, it's an honor. And I don't usually share. I don't think I have never shared that fun fact on the Real Raw. I talk about the verdicts. I never talked about the punitive part, but from one person that is out for justice for people in business. Thank you for the opportunity to share that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Vivian, we got more.
In from Rumson, New Jersey, we have Stephanie Perrin.
What is happening? Why is everybody from New Jersey and New York today? It has never happened. We got people from like New Zealand, Australia, but I love it because we're here in New York and New Jersey, Vivian. We have our brethren here today. It's amazing. So please.
She's in from having a fabulous disco party this weekend. She also happens to be an accounting supervisor at Spring Point Senior Living and a CPA for over 20 years. And she provides all kinds of tax services from reporting, budgeting to auditing, and not just for individuals and small businesses, but she provides services to various industries from biotech, pharmaceutical, consumer manufacturing, construction, and the US government. How colorful. Welcome, Stephanie Perrin.
Hi, how are you? You make me sound very good. That's great.
You.
Stephanie, thank you so much for being here. How about your fun fact?
My fun fact, well, we had a disco party on Saturday night. That was a lot of fun. But I'm going to tell you, I'm on my second day of manifesting for change. And partly that's to leave my day job and really focus on my real job, which is my tax and accounting work. And as I was working in my day job today, Gina Ritchie, who is also a friend and a client, called me and said, "You got to get on this call today." And I was like, this is my day 2 of manifesting change, and what are the chances? So there we go. So I'm going towards my journey to really be independent and not have to work for corporate America anymore.
Extraordinary. My heart to yours. I was 6 months out of law school. I was working for one of New Jersey's largest law firms. I had no contacts, no connections, no money, $100,000 in law school debt, quit my job and built a 40-person law firm in 2 years. It is possible. So continue the manifesting. You could not be in a better place to learn how to do that. I have the privilege of being a business owner, not operator, in a more than 100-person law firm today. And it is here. Like, this is extraordinary that you're here. I'm sure, I guess we had a last second cancellation. Thank you for showing up and supporting. There's more than 2,000 people since COVID has begun have been through the Real Raw. And thank you, each of you, for being here today. And thank you, Stephanie, for doing it. Vivian, we have one more judge.
We do. In from Chicago, we have Brian Fisher in the house. Where's my Brian?
I am here. Thrilled to be here. How you doing? Hey, Sean, how are you?
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm excellent. I'm excellent.
Well, Brian has over 20 years as a veteran floor commodities trainer who went from riches to rags to divorce to becoming a respected financial strategist and wealth advisor at Simply Be Agency these past 4 years. His aim is to help entrepreneurs, startups, and fractional CFOs scale, thrive, and succeed. And it's Jerome's own experiences and his renewed outlook and growth mindset that he is passionate to share, from planning techniques, scaling, and how to increase profitability so you're never in debt, but having buckets of wealth and prosperity. Bring it, Brian.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Brian, thank you so much for being here, man. And what is
Thanks for having me, Sean.
fun fact?
So my fun fact is, so golf is a passion of mine. And last year with COVID and everything going on, everything was pretty much shut down here in Chicago. A group of 45 or 50 individuals put together a COVID Open, quote unquote, as a golf tournament. And the last day I came back from 5 shots back to win the tournament by shooting 75. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great way to kind of break up the brevity of everything going on with COVID. It was a lot of fun.
Amen.
Awesome. Brian, thank you for being here. We're going to have some fun today. Are you ready, Brian?
I cannot wait. Let's do this.
Let's go. So Vivian,
Yeah.
I think we have a role player.
Oh my goodness. Yes, she's a beautiful maven. You may know her as Lorelai or the producer here at The Real Raw. What you don't know is that she's also the founder and designer of Belle Roche, a design worn by top celebrities in Hollywood and has been featured in Fashion Week LA. Let me see it, baby. Let me see it. Open that neck. Lorelai can also add TV celebrity status to herself as she starred in 3 seasons of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Lorelai leads high-level masterminds, which include the inner circle of Tony Robbins, thought leaders, and powerful speakers. But her life's mission is to guide others out of childhood trauma, like she did. She shares her own story on Steven Tyler's media platform, a pending memoir, and her podcast titled Triumph Over Trauma. For her superpower is that she is the connector to the untouchable. Welcome, Lorelai Mariano.
Woo, thank you. Vivian, yes, always come with me wherever I go, please.
Connector to the untouchable. Connector to the untouchable, Lorelai, who has delivered onto Clubhouse Michael Burnett onto our Clubhouse, as well as this Real Raw just a week ago, who is the booker of the last 4 of 5 presidents and has the largest stages across the globe. And all of a sudden, it's like Lorelai snaps her fingers. Michael Burnett is here. Hello, Michael, if you're watching, we love you. Lorelai, you are extraordinary. Thank you so much. And what is your fun fact?
Well, my fun fact is I lived in Amsterdam for 2 years, didn't own a car, rode my bike everywhere. Well, my friend gave me the bike and I'm like, oh, thanks so much. but it was stolen from a junkie. So I was riding a bike, a stolen bike. So what did I do? I spray painted it to disguise the bike in purple, white, and blue tie-dye.
Love it.
Only,
Very American of you.
only you, Lorelai Mariano. Absolutely extraordinary. I love you, Lorelai. Thank you so much for being here and all you do for the Real Raw. Extraordinary. Vivian,
Uh-huh.
you're amazing.
Well, so are you. You're one of the top influencers in the world who appears regularly on national TV. And of course, you're the chief visionary officer here at Unblinded Sales Mastery, who created this experiential platform, AKA the Real Raw, to showcase the magic of the formula that you've been curating for the past 23 years. So contestants, your aim is to step onto the stage and grab the mic, share your authentic self with the hotbed of talent in front of you, and align your purpose with others in an organic way in order to form ecosystems. And just like that, you make more money in less time with more magic. And Sean will help you see how influence is a superpower. Right, Sean?
Vivian, we will endeavor to do our best. And these are extraordinary people, and we will learn from them. We will learn from each other. We'll create massive acceleration, but to put a flag in the ground, we do know what we're doing here. We put out bets of $250,000 for charity that we at Unblinded, our leadership and me running that show, cannot be out influenced on a neutral set of facts. And if I lose, I win, because then we give $250,000 to charity. But you know what's weird? Vivian, nobody keeps taking the bet. So we need somebody to take the bet, like Grant Cardone keeps hiding. Like, get him out of hiding. Bring these people out. There's no pitching. There's no hooking. There's no closing. There's heart-centered, integrous influence. That's the way. Vivian, you embody that. You are beyond extraordinary. We love you and thank you.
I love you. You're extraordinary. You're my muse. One day I'm going to grow up to be just like you. But in the meantime, have fun, everybody.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, love you.
Lorelai, who's going first?
Let me think about this for a moment. All right. Right in front of me, Jerome. Let's do this.
All right. Jerome, who would you like Lorelai to be? It's anybody that you'd like a yes from. She could be herself. She could be a massive influencer in the world. She could be any generalized avatar or specific person. You, Jerome, who do you need a yes from? And that's who Lorelai will be.
I need a yes from an investor.
I like it. So you want, and what type of profile might this investor have, Jerome?
This person should have a fashion background, knows how to run fashion businesses. I'm also thinking about, the LVMH of the world, the Kerings of the world, that kind of perspective.
Awesome. So Lorelai, you have a fashion background. You're got money to burn. You're just looking for the right opportunity. Lorelai, you ready?
Yes, ready.
I'm so nervous, just so you guys know. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, whatever it would, and remember, Jerome, so everybody can just settle in on this. This is not Boiler Room meets Wolf of Wall Street, right? It's relationship creation. It's causing people to connect on heart-to-heart levels so we see our future and our work together. Amazing. So you win if you just have a longer meeting set up. So you have 6 minutes, Jerome, right? And it's going to be interrupted about halfway through. Okay. And judge this first round. We're just talking about how people connect initially, how they begin a conversation. This is a 6-minute setup meeting by phone for Jerome and Lorelai. And the end of it could just be a yes to a longer meeting. And what we're really judging in between at this first round is how congruently unique is Jerome, congruently unique, so that Lorelai is curious and interested. And there's something there for her that's pulling her, right? So Jerome, just have some fun and be in your heart. You're extraordinary. And are you ready, sir?
I guess I am. I am.
Jump on in. So Lorelai, just say hello, please.
Hello, Jerome.
Hi, Lorelai. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So how has your 2021 been so far?
It's actually been extraordinary because I have really been just taking opportunities rather than hiding in the house and being scared. And I did that from the very beginning. And I feel that this time has really been a blessing, and also time to look within and just create really meaningful relationships. Yes.
You meditate often, or?
I do actually. I do. I do everyday Tony Robbins priming.
Oh, I love Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is the
Yes.
best.
Yes, every day. That's an amazing way to start my day. And I actually do meditate. I do, sometimes I do Master Co's meditations, and I also do different methodologies. I've been meditating for over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I started meditating when I actually had a collapsed lung in high school. And so I've been doing it all my life. And so it led me to actually ask you this question of like, how do you create something that is meaningful for other people to experience the same way that I discovered meditation as a kid. So yeah, I want to create something to give back to the world. And I believe meditation is a great way for people of color in the Bronx. So I wonder if you can help me, take my brand to the next level by fusing this is so tough, fusing the idea of wellness and fashion in a very creative way to open up some doors, because we all know fashion is very important. So how do we open up the minds at the same time through the clothing? So maybe you can guide me.
Well, I think that is such a beautiful and unique idea, and I don't think that's been done. And yes, fashion is my life and my world, and so I love that you'd asked me. So I'd like to ask you, what is your vision? What do you see to merge those two things together?
Sure. My brand's name is 531, which is a play on spirituality and fashion, right? So I have a background in streetwear, and I wanted to kind of open the door by showing that gratitude is also glamorous at the same time. And I believe everyone should experience it. So I created my brand to kind of tap into both vibrations, whether it's material or mental.
Hey, Laura, you get a quick phone call. You bounce right back to Jerome. Cool.
Yeah, Jerome, sorry I have to run, but I will be right back with you after my call.
Sure.
All right. Jerome, excellent job, sir. How'd that feel for you?
Well, that was so tough because I actually pitched a lot, but I didn't know where to begin because I haven't pitched my line in a long time. I'm so used to pitching other clients that I haven't really pitched myself before on my brand. So it was really interesting because I was like, wow, someone's asking about me and not the brand that I'm pitching.
Well, we're gonna have some fun with that in round two, and I have some thoughts after we complete the role plays. So, but beautiful job. Thank you. Robin, are you ready?
Robin?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah, sure. Hello?
Yes. So are
Yeah,
you ready?
hey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who would you like Lorelai to be?
I guess an investor. We can go with an investor. Mhm.
Cool. Okay.
Real estate investor, established, family office, New York City base. You probably have $2 billion in real estate already owned. Everyone knows that you have $300 million liquid available now because of a recent sale. And I'm calling you to potentially invest into one of our developments.
Okay. Laura, I got 300 billion liquid, worth 2 billion, overall, and you ready to go?
Ready.
All right. Take us in.
Hi, Lorelai. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's Raven over at Kismet Capital. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your recent sale. I see you guys just sold some multifamily properties at the height of the market. It's probably kind of relieved that you were able to sell at such a high price with everything that's happening in New York City right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a true blessing. Mhm.
Yeah. So, I did some research on your family and, how it is that you got into real estate. And I see that you played a real important part in building some affordable housing here. Just curious, what does that mean to you? I know that your family has been in New York for maybe 60 years now. Why did you guys choose affordable housing?
That's a great question. Because we really want to extend and give back more. And there's just so many in need. And we just wanted that opportunity to really give back and make a difference.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. We've been raising money for real estate developments for over 10 years now with a special interest in affordable housing. It's a part of my story is that we grew up in New York City Housing Authority. So as immigrants in America and then in New York City, to have clean housing, with some social services really impacted our lives. So that's why I kind of chose to do that for the rest of my life, is to help, create, finance, and co-develop affordable housing. We actually have some interesting deals now, and I was wondering, since you are liquid at the moment, are these some sort of transactions you're still looking to co-invest into?
Potentially, I need to learn a little bit more about and more in depth of what you're doing, but I really do love that mission, and it aligns in a deeper way with me. As a child, we built this to such an amazing level, but there's many stories that I'd love to share too. So, but I'd like to really know a little bit more of the details.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. What's the best way for me to maybe send some additional information just so you can have a closer look?
Hey, Laurel, you're going to bounce back at that quick phone call, bounce right back
Yeah.
to Raven.
Actually, let's get back shortly. I have a quick call.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm sorry, and it is Raven, is that correct?
Yeah, Raven. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry for our mispronunciation earlier. Number one. Number two, love the job that you did. Like the emotional, energetic connection coming from the incredibly dynamic, pressurized, Zeus energy filled New York real estate world. Like you're recognizing your background, connecting so authentically to your family's journey through the housing process, being immigrants. I thought resonated really powerfully, Raven. Where's your family from?
Trinidad.
Yeah, that is absolutely awesome. And so, actually, fun footnote: the fastest kid in the state of New Jersey, since we're from New York and New Jersey, his dad is from Trinidad, and he's a dear friend of mine. This kid is, I think, the second fastest teen in America at this point, and he's got a shot to go to the Olympics in a couple of years. So, Trinidad, person in Trinidad. So, thank you, Raven. Great job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Lorelei, we got some judges today. Let's go start with perhaps Michael. Michael, 30 seconds of feedback, if you wouldn't mind. Starting with Jerome, 15 seconds on what worked, 15-second bullets on what could be optimized, and then a score, please, sir.
What works? I think it was great building the connection at the beginning, leading into the meditation, and a good segue into what he was doing and how it relates to what she's doing, and also asking for guidance before going into actual money. But I think it could have been a little bit more direct, even to show that it was really looking for an investor rather than just a mentor relationship.
Yeah. Excellent. And your score?
What's the score? What's our range?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, and we're measuring
Right.
connection, gravitational pull. Yeah.
Okay, I give it an 8.
Nice. Thank you very much for that, Michael. Stephanie, actually, I'm sorry, Michael. Let's go with what you have. For Raven.
For Raven, I like the rapport building at the beginning, that it was going into the motivation of the investor and their connection emotionally to what it is he's doing. And it was obviously natural, and his background and his interest. I think that starting off with his knowledge of her having the available money, I think that was too soon of a flag, doing that before the emotional connection. He could have maybe gotten into that a little bit later.
Nice. And your score?
I would say also 8 out of 10.
Nice. Thank you for that, Michael. Stephanie, what do you got for Jerome? Please.
Okay, for Jerome, I definitely like how he asked questions to get to know L'Oreal better. And I liked how he seemed very energetic and positive about what he was doing. And I liked his idea. I thought that was really great. I think where he could have improved was possibly being more direct and maybe getting some closing contact information. Can I send you some information? Can I send you something to that regard? But I thought he did great.
And your score?
I'm going to say an 8 also.
Nice. And what'd you have, please, for Raven?
Raven, I thought, did a phenomenal job. I liked how he connected with the investor and asked her how she felt about affordable housing. I also liked how he put his personal spin and his personal story, which validates why he does what he does and that he's truly passionate about it. I also liked how he was very direct in asking for contact information. He kind of closed it. Can I send you additional information? I think that was really, really, really a good idea. So what he could have done differently, I don't.
And your score?
I'm going to say a 9.
Nice. Excellent work. Brian, what do you think the biggest mistake people make related to money? That people in your experience in this country make in their finances?
Well, a lot of people feel that it will never end, that if you're making a good living, that at no point will it ever end. And a lot of people don't think about the ups and downs of economies, as well as understanding how you can spend and save and build up different areas of savings that will help you later in life.
Awesome. Love that, man. How about we get some feedback for Jerome?
Absolutely. Jerome, your nervousness is cool, though, because it allows people to get to know you, and using unique similarities, meditation and speaking to that really helps you become likable. And that's one of the things that you really need to exude when you're on a cold call or when you're on a pitch. I think, as Stephanie said, we could have used some more follow-up towards the end of it. How can I follow back up with you? But I just loved all the insight and comparisons that you were able to give with Lorelai on how to move forward and to kind of get to where your pitch is. I'd give you a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
I think you'll nail it the next time.
Thank you, Brian. How about for Raven?
Yeah, so Raven, you know how to do the pitch. Like, this is not your first pitch, and you got right to it. I loved how you have your personal story, and I'd almost actually like to see a little bit of more of that, a little more vulnerability and authenticity in regards to the conversation. You kind of jumped right to the sell, which I get. We're on a time frame of 1:30. But I really appreciated your circle back. Like, you knew as she was getting off the phone, you had to have some sort of catch in order to have her come back. So I'd give you an 8.
Nice. Excellent job. Thank you for that feedback. Brian, Raven, excellent work, my friend. Are you ready for round 2? Because Lorelai with the 300 million liquid is back. Are you ready?
I'm back and ready.
All right. Raven, are you ready?
Oh, okay. I thought it was over. So
Yeah, no, you get 2 3-minute rounds. So this is the second round. So now you can continue, and Lorelai maybe have a couple of objections, questions. You can share a little bit about your expertise and background, Raven, in the second 3 minutes. And are you ready to go?
sure, yeah.
All right, yeah, take us in.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good. Thanks for waiting for me.
Yeah, totally. It was the on-home music was pretty fun. So
Not quite, not too elevator. We don't do that here.
sounded like reggae, reminded me of back. So yeah, I didn't want to rush right in to go over any of the numbers, but the returns on this deal are above average for New York City, affordable. Reason being, there is no purchase of the land. The landowner is a not-for-profit, and they're willing to pledge that into the transaction, so it sort of eliminates that entire nut. So our generally returns for affordable housing in New York City are around 8 to 12%. On this deal, it's 20% IRR, which is like I said, it's way above average, and it's in a part of New York City that can really use this housing stock. It's in Brownsville, Brooklyn. You're familiar with that part?
Not to some extent, but familiarize me with that.
It's the most impoverished part of Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
The highest crime. It's the most amount of housing projects. I think the development that is planned for this area will really impact the neighborhood. And on the ground floor of the housing, we have 10% of the space allotted for some social services. So we have one group that's going to come in and give after school classes for the kids that maybe have an entrepreneurial spirit that now don't have to go the normal routes, of Brownsville, which unfortunately could be just crime. Now we're going to show these kids that have that spark in them. That's not the only way.
That's amazing. Is this your first venture doing this type of project? What other projects have you
Right.
done?
Our investor group has completed 12 projects of this size. My role in the transaction is to help raise the equity. So the construction is covered, the guarantee on the construction loan is covered. The last part of the puzzle is the equity required into the deal to bring it into fruition. And that's the whole premise of this conversation.
Right. Well, I'm just so impressed with what you are trying to do from the standpoint of giving back. That's exceptional. So that definitely has piqued my interest.
Oh, great. That's really good to hear. So what would be the best email to send you a prospectus?
Yeah, you can send that to lorelei.mariano@unblindedmess.com. I can give you another email as well to my assistant.
Excellent work, Raven. Great job, Lorelei. So, hey, Raven, really fantastic. Again, in the investment space, feeling that emotional energetic transference is uncommon. Wonderful job. And when you say 20% IRR, do you want to just share with people what that means? I know what you mean, but in case people are not clear on what IRR is, I know that somebody in Lorelei's position would be, but what does that mean?
Internal rate of return. So it's just, it shows you what your return is going to be on the money invested over however many years we decide to keep the property.
Right. And is that a guarantee 20% IRR or projected?
That's projected, sure. But these are all city rents. So
yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
Very, very cool. One other quick question. Are you looking for, what's the minimums that you guys are looking for in this project?
If it were a real project and that's something I just made up.
Oh, this is made up. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if this is a real project. Okay. So I want to see if we can connect
I
you with
thought it
anybody.
was a real project.
Yeah, I want to see if we can connect you with anybody that might be helpful, but outstanding job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So Lorelei, you ready?
Ready.
All right. Jerome, are you ready?
I'm ready. How
All right.
about Raven? Raven killed it.
3 minutes to go. Take us in.
Hi, Lorelei.
Hi, Jerome.
Yeah.
Thanks for waiting.
No problem. I mean, we have nothing but time, right?
Exactly.
So I wanted to kind of follow up on what we discussed a few minutes ago. I really think you would love to see the experience. It's more of an experience than just product. I can sit a car for you and get you into the suite so you can see how we kind of create this environment. It's all COVID friendly. You can meet my guru who does meditations. You can actually meet the manufacturer who actually has made clothing as well, and just kind of create this experience so you can see a more centralized, focused perspective on what my brand is about.
Yeah, actually, could you give me a little bit more idea as to how you're bringing them together? I need more clarity how this, meditation and how that all works first.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm really busy, so I just want to make sure,
For sure. So again, the brand is 531, and the number adds to 9, and 9 is a high vibration when it comes to spirituality and creativity, and so those two worlds are synergized in mine. So the brand existed and I created the brand in 2013. First person who wore it was Beyonce. She saw everything in the brand. She loved the spirituality behind it. And it was really wonderful because it was all about connecting the vibration of manifestation and clothing. So all the colors were jewel tone and very vibrant and colorful. We did very well. I had the brand for about 6 years, and I decided to close it down to focus on, the Bronx and giving back to the community. So that's where this idea of fusing the collection and meditation into one environment, so I can open doors for other people to tap into a higher vibration. So yeah, it's a really new dynamic way, but I think once you're in the environment, you can hear everything and feel it and experience it.
And who is your ideal customer client? Who would that be?
So I'm currently rebranding the company. So the brand is actually going to be, instead of higher end, which is, I sold in Dover Street Market, I sold in, we were in Saks, and now I'm bringing it down to a more relatable clientele, a more Gen Z focused brand. So we're actually direct to consumer. So anyone could obtain it. It's male and female, fluid, like myself. And we just want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to experience the vibration, is made with love. And we'll also teach them how to meditate along the way using the YouTube and technology that we have.
Yeah, it sounds super intriguing, and really what, fashion, bringing fashion together with that sounds amazing. I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, I think we need it right now, right? We're getting out of COVID. We are trapped in our homes and behind screens. I think it's time for us to kind of get vaccinated and go out and really re-experience and rediscover what it means to be a human again. And I think that's where my brand comes in.
Awesome.
Right. Thank you.
Excellent job, Jerome. How'd that feel for you?
It was cool. I was about to close it and have her come. Well, I already had her, invited her to my spot. I wanted to have her get her email and address and send a call for her and make it into a full experience.
And all the things. So, and we, yes, judges, like that's, Jerome was there. So Jerome, you're looking for an investor into creating a facility. Like, just give us a little bit more clarity on what you're looking for.
Yes. So the brand, so I actually added another element to it, but I have a fashion brand.
Yeah.
And because I'm already, I have tons of other bigger clients that are actually already investing into the company, which are like the Googles and those crazy brands of the world. I'm currently looking for other opportunities to expand it, So I am having conversations with LVMH and I am having conversations with Kering. So this is, but I never had to pitch. They've always pitched to me. So it's like a very interesting place to be right now, which is very fun.
Yeah.
And so,
if they invest in you, it's in the brand, and what are you creating? Like, what's the revenue stream?
Yeah. So the brand is based off clothing, right? So we can bring in anywhere from 300,000 onward. So before, when I had the brand in 2013, from 2013 to 2018, I had a fashion brand, and we sold really well direct to consumer over Instagram, in some stores as well. And now I'm rebranding the company and making it more accessible for more clients, male and females.
Gotcha. And what's the name of the company?
Yeah, 531.
531. Okay.
Yeah,
So
this is my birthday.
Oh, beautiful. So wait, your birthday is May 31st?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's a longer story for a different day. Okay. So could I be you for a second in this, and would you mind being a potential investor?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So I'll be Jerome, and you will be a potential investor. Pick whatever name you'd like. What name would you like?
James.
Right. Hey, James, thanks so much for taking the meeting. Really excited to meet with you. It was so cool being connected up with Shannon and these amazing people in the PR world that we mutually know. And I know you're only got about 3 minutes right now, but really, thank you for taking the phone call.
No problem.
Yeah. And James, can I ask you this? What prompted you to take the call?
I really like what your brand represented and your reach.
Awesome. And what is it about what the brand represents that resonates with you?
I think what I like most about the brand that it kind of tapped into spirituality in a different way. You know, showing that you can fuse the mental and the physical in a new way.
Awesome. So, and James, what, like, I know that you have a lot of projects going on, but if you could, because I believe in mutuality. So what I'm looking to do is add value to your world as well. I don't want to just pitch you and seek money. I just want to know you and like your mission. So James, like, what are you looking to create in the world? I've heard a lot of things about you, but I need a little bit more clarity. Like, what are you up to and what's your purpose?
Yeah, I mean, what we want to do, what we want to invest in are people with new ideas. I think we are in search of, you know, the magic that I think is missing right now. Everyone's kind of trapped into the mundane, and I think your brand represents that in a very clever way. So, oh, I like being an investor.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Awesome. So would it be okay? You know what? In this, the trapped in the mundane, looking for the magic. And is it the rate of return you're looking for? Is it like impact in the world? Both? Like how much is like return versus impact? Like what's the balance for you fine folks, James?
You know, I believe in great creative thoughts and creative ideas. I think people who are in search of newness and magic in the world need someone with a vision. You know, so I would love to become an angel investor in what you're working on and see how we could grow your brand in a very dynamic way to, you know, shift the vibration of the planet.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Would it be okay then, James, in this final minute? Because what I'd really like to see if it makes sense, and it sounds like it might, to have a 30-minute conversation, but I share just a little bit about me that you may not know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, I've worked with some of the most incredible people in the world, like Beyonce. You know, companies like Google and some of these massive brands have been involved, and you know about the reach. And I would love to bring present to you that you said the word magic.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
And what I stand for in the world is magic. I stand for a world that's inclusive, without borders, but like dynamic, free, loving, passion, energy, fire, disruption,
I love
and
that.
rooted.
All of
Yeah,
the above.
rooted that. Yeah. And so when we look at where this is all headed, and I know you know me, but you haven't seen my best yet. And there's so much inside that we're looking and committed and clear and passionate and ready to bring out and unfold to the world. That if you think what you've seen so far is magic, you see nothing. And the energy you bring, the revenue, the incentive brings fashion, meditation, holistic magic, aspiration, love, fun, all of it together. So if that's resonating even more than where we started, I'd love to see if we can invest a half an hour and map this out to show you a little bit more of how this would all unfold. What are your thoughts, James?
Sounds good. I'll set you up with my assistant.
Okay, awesome. All right, pause. So Jerome, how'd that feel for you?
Amazing. It felt really good. It was wonderful to hear your perspective on the project that I'm developing as we speak. So it was really wonderful.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that, Jerome. Lorelai, let's get to the judges. Let me ask you this, Lorelai, how did that presentation resonate for you?
Amazing. And I actually want to, excuse me, I want to be a part of this. I was thinking in my head, I'm going, jewelry. I have an idea. Here's one of my rings.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was not unclear that was going through your head, Lorelai, and I love it.
But I loved how, Sean, how you just pulled in, you know, the words you used, and fire and disruption.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love that.
And it's the emotional, energetic transference. And Jerome has so much powerful, resonant energy. Like one of our indispensable elements of influence is how we transfer energy from ourselves to somebody else. Because all of influence is about our message being received, right, and acted upon. So like we not only do we need receipt, we need action. And like head to head equals no action. Like heart to heart, being to being equals like resonance and action. So Jerome, great job, man.
And there's this beautiful kindness and soulful, cool God, you know, it's really all wrapped into one. Love it.
And then Raven, like I was so present to there was this like sort of like, all right, like, you know, we'll do this thing. But when he stepped in and leaned in, there was like the resonance as well, you know, for both of them. They're very powerful. Okay, so let's keep moving forward. Let's go reverse order. Brian, what do you have, sir, for Raven?
Yeah, Raven, I loved what you had to offer. I think when you use words like 20% internal rate of return, I think you lead into that with a little education about that, because as Sean said, guaranteed, not guaranteed, kind of talk to people's concerns before they have them, because otherwise you could lose them with a fact like that. But knowing your facts is an outstanding thing, and you did a really good job at that. I was really engaged with what you were saying and wanted to hear more, especially as you started to speak to the initial project. So that was really well done.
Awesome. And your score?
I'd give you an 8 again.
Nice. And how about for Jerome?
Yeah, Jerome, you did a great job. I mean, what's great about you is that your spirit and your sincerity comes out right out of the gate. So at no point am I saying, do I trust this guy? Is he looking for money? What's he looking to do with it? The only flags that I would get is when you say you're, you took down a successful business and you're rebranding. I think you speak to that with a little more knowledge before someone's like, oh, if he was so successful, why would you rebrand? Or why would you, speak to why it meant to you and that you were looking to do something a little more personal to your brand. I'd give you an 8. I think you did a great job. I'd love to get to know you more just by your pitch. So that's great.
Yeah. Awesome, Ryan. And Brian, my friend, how is the Real Raw for you today?
Real Raw's great. It's a great way to learn how to understand the pitch and to speak to your authenticity and to speak to your knowledge base and to understand how you can get someone to say a more authentic yes rather than just the quick no. And I think that's our fear, right? When we're pitching, is that we get the quick no.
Yeah.
So great job, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here today. And Stephanie, how is this for you today? Yeah.
You mean the Real Raw?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Real Raw. I was nervous at first. I told Gina that I'm not so comfortable speaking. That's why I'm a CPA, because I have to sit behind a desk and a computer. But I do deal with clients every single day. So I found this experience to be very enlightening. Sean, when you came on and became the looking for the investor, I immediately saw the change and what you were doing. You were asking questions as opposed to throwing things out at people. And for a lot of my clients, I think that's what I need to do, is ask questions, because ultimately, if I'm doing their taxes or I'm doing a business plan or something like that for them, I need to understand and ask more questions than actually pitch what my business is. Yeah. So I got a lot out of today for sure. And I got to meet some really great people.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that. And quick footnote, right? 7% of our communication are the words we utter. 7%. 38% is our vocal qualities. 55% our body language. There's 18 levers of integrity-based human influence and the interweaving of those mechanisms. So fantastic job. And it's not just the questions. It is the questions, like that's a gateway. Underneath the questions is how do we get to emotional, energetic transference? How do we hear deeply, like what's there? Like where do we ask questions more deeply into? There's science on top of science on top of science related to all of this. And again, Stephanie, thank you for being here. And hey, what'd you have for Raven?
Raven, I thought Raven did a great job. In my day job, I actually am Spring Point Senior Living. We have 18 affordable housing facilities for low-income elderly. So I could completely understand what he was saying. So, but I do agree with Brian that when you throw out figures, things like IRR and things like that, people might not understand what that would be. But I did like that he did know what he was talking about. I am so impressed that he completely made up the whole thing. So that was really great. And I like his cat, and I give
wrestling with his cat.
I give him a 9.
Thank you. And how about for Jerome?
Jerome did a great job as well. He's extremely genuine. I can tell his smile and his eyes are very bright. I don't think you should always be in person or on a Zoom whenever you have a meeting, because your spirit and your energy just resonates through your smile and your face. And, definitely can tell that you're a genuine person. So, I'd be comfortable giving you my money. So
And your score is?
I'm going to give him an 8 as
Nice.
well.
Excellent. Stephanie, again, thank you so much for being here. Michael, thank you. Fantastic job, sir. And what do you have, please, for Raven?
So for Raven, I thought that it was a nice, no pressure introduction. Again, he built the connection, gave that background, and talking about how it really benefits the neighborhood, has the low-income social services portion on the ground floor. And I actually think that he could have gone into more specific details. I disagree about explaining the IRR. I would have expected an investor to know those basics coming in the door, but I think he could have gone even further to say more about the details and the finances.
Nice. And your score?
I'm going to say another 8 out of 10.
Nice. And for Jerome?
And Jerome, great job. I think that once you got into talking about your brand and what it means, I mean, you really hit your groove, and that just made the connection right there, and how it carries over into where you see it landing with consumers. So I think, building on that first would have probably gotten you further, and then going into what was a really great next step, which is having her come out to meet you and see what the place is about.
Awesome
And
job.
your
And your score?
Yeah, I'm going to say 8 out of 10.
Thanks. And again, Michael, thank you so much for being here. And how was your day today on the Real Raw?
It's been great. I think that it's a great way to encapsulate the whole experience and a pitch and breaking it into its components. So I really like the experience.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being here. Jerome, thank you for being here as well, my friend. How was your day today on the Real Raw?
It was enlightening. I loved it. I was nervous at first. And I'm so happy that I did this. Thank you for having me. It was really cool.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Raven, how was your day, sir?
It was good. Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you being here. Lorelei, final.
Final is you need to come in and join us on Clubhouse every morning from 9 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to have fun, building amazing strategies, creating partnership, having fun. Right, Sean?
Yes. And Lorelei, here's this, guys. What we've done through the Real Raw has been a very unique dynamic. We've created an experiential marketing disruption, creating something we call hierarchical primacy. And we are beginning to run influence challenges of all sorts in all sorts of different verticals. The folks that run influence challenges, open listening, create relationship. We're doing that in verticals, Clubhouse, lawyers, accountants, financial folks, through the Real Raw, through Real Opens, and like that's the space. And you say, well, why would you do that? And the answer is because the way we build everything in business is through relationship. And what the way relationship is formed is through a shared experience. Pre-COVID, I had a 125 person law firm. The number one thing I would do is I would bring, and I own it in 5 states, I would bring people to Capitol Grill. I was the number one client in Capitol Grill in 2018, 2019, Northern New Jersey, big client in Manhattan, Capitol Grill as well. We had shared experiences. You could bring people to sporting events. You could bring people to shows and plays. The Real Raw does all that so much more rapidly, efficiently, and powerfully than a 4-hour dinner, right? And we're doing these things now on Clubhouse. We're doing them here, and we're partnering and all sorts of things. So if you're like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you up to? I'm not even sure yet. Every Monday night, 7 p.m., we run What is Unblinded and Why the Real Raw. And we have extraordinary guests on. And we'll tonight, both in the charitable world, the non-charitable world, Kirk Adams, the president of the American Foundation for the Blind, as well as a rock star in the world of real estate, private equity, or both private banking, both coming on tonight. So if you're interested in What is Unblinded, Why Real Raw, because you want more money in less time with more magic, join us tonight at 7 p.m. Join us on Clubhouse as somebody that you want to partner and run a venture with. Weekends for running these fun influence challenges and rapport building and cold calling and raising money from investors and all sorts of things. And we're holding space for being the talent hotbed, not only on the superpower of influence, but what you do with it. So hopefully this is just the beginning. If it's the end, just remember that influence is in fact a superpower. and it's influencers influencing influencers to come together to make the world a greater place. That's how we do it. And Lorelei, we're all blind.
And just learning to see.
Have a great day, guys.